So how much better would your bushcrafting experience be? You took those synthetic handled, polymer sheath, mass produced fixed blades and dumped them, and started using traditional design knives that were finished by hand. 10x, it would definitely 10x your bushcrafting experience. And they actually did an independent study at the University of Jotunheim after the Second War with the frost giants, and that was their decisive finding, so prove me wrong. Even if you like the idea of a more traditional design like this Norwegian-made HELLE Gaupe, you want to know how truly capable it is before you pull the trigger. And that's exactly what we're going to find out in today's video. I've had this knife now for over 6 months, really put it through its paces, and we're going to find out what limitations, but also what capabilities this designed traditional Scandi knife can do and whether or not it will let you and me down. So thanks for hanging with me today, guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Now, guys, I've been waiting quite a while and I'm very excited about this particular video. Let me just fuel up here on some Joe. And guys, I'm trying to do less caffeine. I was doing about probably 5 to 6 cups of coffee. I'm trying to do 3 a day. So hopefully we don't have the caffeine shakes. But with this knife, it's like a teleportation device for me, and we have so much to unpack, not only in like handle, tang style, but we have 2 different types of steel to discuss and their performances based on that, and just overall capability. But I really do feel when I carry this tool, and now having had it for quite a while, I'm like saddling up with Uhtred and we're gonna go fight the Danes, and this is my backup blade if all else fails, and my camp knife, you know, when we're at war camp before we're about to go out to battle the next day. I mean, that's how this blade feels to me. And with a 4 1/4 inch overall, 4 inch even cutting edge on an 1/8 of an inch thick stock with that just beautiful drop point, it just thunders, put me to work. And it is like it's a freaking Clydesdale, guys. I mean, it looks like a museum piece and finesse and scalpel-esque, you know, carving. And of course you can do a wood spirit and, you know, make a little horse for your child and carve that no problem because of the edge geometry and precision. But man, it just like eats up material. That 1.5 inch hemp rope, that is on a used edge. That wasn't like the day I got it. That's after weeks of using it and not honing the edge, guys. And the only few times I've had to do anything, I just put on a ceramic rod for 10 seconds. 10 passes, sorry. And I mean, it's stupid sharp again. The blade thickness, geometry, the carving, slicing through stuff, and even food prep. I'm not a huge fan of Scandi knives for food prep, and I would still prefer a full flat, but if this is all I had on my belt as my belt knife, I could easily do most vegetables and food and just all of it because of the slightly higher geometry that they decided to go with this Scandi. It's not super short, making it broader, and of course having that thinner stock just helps with that. So all of the aspects that I did with this tool, I was really impressed with. Now, you may be surprised about the steel variant that I have, but I do want to thank you guys for hanging with me today. I do invite you to like this video, as well as to consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new videos just like this, giving you guys data, information, entertainment to help you better stay equipped and prepared for whatever life throws your way. And it is truly you guys in partnership with our regular sponsors here at the channel that help me to continue to make content just like this. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is Huckberry. And what I personally appreciate about Huckberry is the quality of gear and equipment that they carry. For example, Reigning Champ athletic apparel that uses old school manufacturing techniques to handcraft their gear in Vancouver, Canada. Or you guys hear me talk about Flint & Tinder all the time, which offers many hoodie and jacket designs that are both sourced and built right here in the USA, while simultaneously offering a great selection of Leatherman multi-tools, Italian-made giant mouse pocket knives, GoRuck packs and equipment, as well as Danner boots. They are really creating a one-stop shop for good quality equipment. And now's the perfect opportunity during their annual Huckberry Winter Sale going on February 7th through the 11th for you to score amazing deals on that top tier gear item that you've had your eye on and you've just been waiting for the right opportunity. Well, now's your chance. So I'll have a link in the description box below this video over to the Huckberry website, as well as my exclusive 10% off promo code that you can apply towards your very first purchase year round. This is the stainless steel version. that is built out of Sandvik 12C27 steel, which is a very basic budget steel. It's what like Mora has on most of their budget knives, you know, those type of things. And so I wasn't really expecting a lot in the performance. I was expecting to have to resharpen it quite a bit. It's tough. It's a tough steel, but you know, it usually requires a lot of edge maintenance. I was surprised. I don't know what type of heat treat Rockwell they're doing, but this far and away surpassed the Moras that I have in that steel in edge retention. And even when I did the batoning, we'll talk durability in a little bit, I was expecting to have to like, oh, I've got like micro rolls all over the place. Nope. I mean, this thing has held up exceptionally well with very minimal maintenance. So that's the stainless steel version. My version does not have a 90-degree spine. Now, what I really like is that there is a secondary steel option on the Gaupe, and the Gaupe in Norwegian means lynx, so I'm gonna refer to this knife probably for the rest of the video as the lynx, just because it's easier for me and I know I'm pronouncing it right. But the steel variant, there's another steel variant, and it is a triple laminated high carbon steel called H3LS that I've had experience with on this HELLE Viking Puko style knife and was super pleased with it. It's very similar to the process that you would think of a Sami blade, think of like from cold steel, where there is a center core of carbon steel that the edge is going to be using. So that's going to give that excellent, like really fine sharpness. And then it's laminated on either side with stainless steel, giving it this excellent durability, ruggedness, but also great edge retention. And I really like the performance on the on the H3LS on this Viking knife. Now, for me personally, it will really come down to, do you need something to resist humidity, and stainless is the way to go. I was really impressed with the Sandvik version. But if humidity isn't really an issue to you, I would do an LS swap for all of you gearheads and go with the triple laminated H3LS version if you have a choice. And there's not really that big a difference in pricing, within about $5. Since I touched on it, I'll just hit price with you real quick. We will do competitive options in a little bit and really unpack, you know, value and all that. But these are usually going for like $130 to $140, depending on where you pick them up and what steel variant you decide to go with. So I will have links in the description box below to the affiliate networks I partner with. If you are interested, those will be provided for these models as well as the competitive options. Now, this leather sheath is the den in which your lynx will live most of the time. So it's got to be a comfortable, secure place for the knife as well as for you as you transport it. And I have really fallen in love with this particular profile. They've really executed it well. And even though I love Kydex and I love its modularity, durability, and depending on the type of knife and how I'm wanting to carry it, I prefer that, but I am coming around to really falling in love with leather sheaths when they're done well, and particularly carrying them all day, like around the property here or around like the campsite, which I've done many times with this knife. And I love how slim the profile is on this, great stitching all the way through. Very low profile. Now, the tension is excellent. It's not going to go anywhere. There's definitely like a good suction to it, and then you push it back into place and really seats well. I love the paw print that you can see the scales through. That's just a really cool touch you rarely see on leather sheaths. Now, if you've never owned a high polished wood handled knife, it's not going to be like a rubberized, high texture, high grip type of tool like this BOKER. It's going to be slick, therefore relying a lot more on the handle design than on the material the handle is made out of. And that attribute is extremely well executed by the people that are crafting this by hand, making this a totally unique blade. My knife will not be like your knife in very minimal, micronic ways, but you'll notice it because someone is sitting there with this piece of wood and shaping it by hand and rounding it and finishing it all by hand. So you're gonna find slight variations, like this back pommel is slightly off, and you might find a little bit of a shoulder difference. So if you like perfect symmetry in your blades, these are gonna drive you nuts. But if you like the knowledge of knowing some guy sat there on a machine and worked this thing and crafted it, that just sets it apart from just being something that was just like, you know, 3D printed 100,000 times in some shop somewhere. And here's the best part. I have large size hands, easily fills out my hand, plenty of real estate front and back. But this is what I'm looking for. We're looking at 1.3 inches maximum diameter here. We're looking at 0.95 maximum diameter right here. Tapers slightly out the back there. By the neck, it is 1 inch right here, and it is 0.85 right here. So it is full in the hand. And from guard to bird beak, that's a 4-inch span. That width and girth allow me with my large size winter gloves to be able to grip and control the knife very nicely, be able to do woodworking in those colder conditions without issue. Now, if you probably had double XL size gloves, you would probably end up finding yourself riding on the back bird beak. So just kind of keep that in consideration when you're wearing your heavy duty gloves. So yes, it's beautiful in design and great ergonomically, but now for the moment of truth, the durability. And if you look online, there's a ton of statements about don't be rough with these knives. Don't be pounding them through hickory and walnut. They're not designed for that. They are intended for carving and whittling. And the way that it is constructed with stick tang, some people may call it a rat tail tang that goes all the way through to the back, and then they use a collar and pound that collar in, forcing the handle onto the blade. You know, there's definitely potential for loosening up, and I wanted to see if that would occur. Now, what's really cool is that you can actually buy the sharpened like blanks from HELLE. Both the stainless will go for about 40, and I think the carbon will go for, I think, 50. So if you want to try your hand at either fashioning your own wood or maybe leather stack handles, this might not be a bad design to try for yourself. But I would absolutely say that this knife is best suited for the person who understands the value and use of taking an axe or hatchet with them. This happens to be a council tool, Bushcraft. This is the smaller version. I am gonna get a larger version at some point. I keep talking about it, just need to do it. So if you are, I know a lot of you guys have been leaving comments lately. These are phenomenal, phenomenal hatchets. I cannot say enough good things about those. And taking like a saw, so just having the proper tools. I mean, if you're the guy that wants, you know, like a 1/4 inch thick, 8-inch blade, and you're gonna pound it through everything and trees and, you know, do crazy stuff with it, this is not the right knife. But I wanted to know how durable it truly was by pounding it through some wood. I'm gonna treat this like I would my Mora, just to see how this tang holds up. Okay, feels good right there, and that's what I'm going through. It's white wood, but it's got knots in it, just to break down kindling if you had to. Okay, there it is. Okay, I'm going right through those. I mean, that was a pretty twisted, knotted piece of wood. Not only is the edge holding up really well, I'm pleased to report there is no play, rattle, shifting, loosening of the handle and the blade inside that handle. So I would argue as long as it's about half the width of the blade, and it's, you know, pretty light wood, not super dense hickory or, you know, something like that, in a pinch, you could potentially break down and split and, you know, make kindling if you needed. Is it much better to use an axe? Would I prefer that? Yes, that is my mileage. Your model, your mileage may vary, so do that all at your own risk. But I'm pleased to report that it's more durable than I was suspecting and what I've heard online. All right, and as promised, I'm gonna do some competitive options here to just help us really unpack, is this, you know, value-wise even the right tool? Coming in again about 130 to 140, depending on the steel variant, made in Norway. The Joker Ember is a great alternative, made in Spain out of Sandvik 14C28N. Love that steel, arguably a better stainless steel than 12C27. This is going to be an overall thicker, heavier knife. This is 4 ounces for the HELLE. These are, I think, like 6. It's gonna be 0.14 as well, so a thicker stock, so more durable, but not as slicey. 90-degree spine on it, almost the exact same edge. Full tank construction all the way through. You can get micarta. These are wood pinned in handle scale options, and great leather sheaths with matching fire steels often, depending on what you want. And these are going to be, they're a little up in price now. They used to be like right around 100. These are more like 115 to like 135. So very similar pricing to what the HELLE offers. Then if you want to go super steel and very modern, we have the German-made BRONCO from BOKER, made in Germany. That CPM 3V steel is super tough, rather rust resistant. Will definitely outperform either of the steels on the HELLE, both in durability and edge retention. I mean, it's just gonna be mind-blowing. 90-degree spine on this, high saber grind, full tank construction with a rubberized handle, so much grippier, but extremely thin. nowhere near the girth that is on the HELLE. And if you're to ask me purely for like carving, this is way more ergonomic, just saying. This is way more textured. This is way more ergonomic, just saying. But obviously great steel, durability, different type of blade, grind, and leather dangler with a fire steel. Nicely done. And I think these are now going right around like 150. So for, you know, like 25 bucks more, you can get different style, very modern blade, modern steel for not much more. So guys, in conclusion, who's this knife for? I really feel it is for the person who loves just like old world, classic, iconic styling. I think it would be a great gift item for somebody that you know uses their tools and likes the idea of these kind of classic designs. This would be a great gift item for somebody. But also for me personally, it just has outperformed itself. I was expecting that handle to be rattling all over the place by the time I was done with it, and I wasn't really expecting anything out of that Sandvik steel, but it really has done well. I was prepared and planning on having something go wrong and then going in, because I like it so much, not caring and still getting the H3LS version. Now I don't have any reason to, except I probably will at some point just to get the different steel variant. So guys, that's me. It's an excellent aspect of my collection, and I want to hear from you guys, particularly if you own this model. How has it been performing for you, and maybe other HELLE knives you'd like to see tested here on the channel. I always appreciate you guys hanging with me today. I hope it's been fun and entertaining. Check out the other videos, subscribe if you haven't yet, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.